All right, let's just dive right in. AI isn't some far-off thing anymore, right? It's here and it is moving at an absolutely ridiculous speed. And look, this isn't just another tech trend we're talking about. This is a massive, fundamental shift. So think of this as your briefing on how to actually build and lead through all this chaos. Let's get into it. 74%. I just want you to sit with that number for a second. Because that single number, it pretty much tells the entire story of the AI economy right now. And yeah, it's a number that should really grab your attention. It's a huge opportunity, but it's also a pretty big risk. So what does that number actually mean? Well, a huge study from PwC found that 74% represents the slice of all economic value from AI that's gonna, get this, just the top 20% of companies. That's it. So what we're seeing is this giant chasm opening up in the AI economy, and it's separating the real leaders from, well, everyone else. So the real question, the one we all want to know is, how do you join that 20%? Because let's be honest, it's not about just having the tools anymore. Pretty much everyone has access now. The game has changed. It's all about how intentionally you use them. So let's break down exactly how you can get into that top group.
Okay, so if you want to get on the right side of that gap, the very first thing you have to do is understand the insane speed of the game you're in. I mean, right now, the ground is just shifting under our feet faster than ever before.
I mean, just think about this for a second. Whatever AI tool you were using just 6 months ago, it's probably already outdated. Seriously. And look, I'm not saying that to freak you out. It's really just a call to stay curious, to stay plugged in. Because every single week you decide to spend learning, that's another week you're pulling ahead of the competition.
And you know what's interesting? The race itself is changing. Yeah, according to Stanford's AI Index, a company like Anthropic might be out front in raw performance right now, but the whole game is shifting. The competition is getting fierce in completely new ways. It's not just about who has the most powerful model anymore. Now the battle is all about cost, how reliable these things are, and maybe most importantly, how useful they are in the real world.
So you've got these models just racing ahead at full speed. But the legal rules, the social norms, they're all just scrambling to keep up. It's like the rule book for how we're supposed to use AI in business is being written like right now as we're speaking.
And you can see this playing out all across the US. You've got states like California and New York. They're not waiting around for the federal government. They're already passing laws that force companies to be transparent about this stuff. And the takeaway here is super clear. If you're using AI in your business, telling people about it isn't just a nice to have anymore. It's quickly becoming a legal requirement. And honestly, it's one of the best ways you can build trust with your customers.
But look, all this change, it's not just happening in boardrooms or in government buildings. Not at all. The real revolution, the part that gets me excited, is the power that these tools are putting directly into your hands.
Let me tell you about a guy named Pratik Desai. His mother was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And he didn't just accept the situation, he actually built an entire AI-assisted system using tools that you or I could go out and get right now. He used it to manage her care. And in doing that, he caught misdiagnoses that doctors had missed and found treatments the regular system had overlooked. I mean, this isn't some movie plot. This is happening right now with tools that are available to all of us. And that right there, that's the real heart of his story. It's all about a massive shift in mindset. You see, the AI wasn't the hero of that story. The hero was the person who just refused to feel helpless and decided to pick up these tools and take control of the situation himself. This is the big shift we're talking about. It's about going from just passively taking in information to actively creating your own solutions. It's the huge difference between being dependent on others and being truly empowered. And that's the new kind of agency that AI is giving us. And speaking of empowerment, have you heard about tools like Claude Code? I mean, this thing lets you build actual software without writing a single line of code. You just describe what you want in plain English. That's it. It completely vaporizes the technical barrier for founders, for creators. Just imagine explaining your next big app idea to a genius developer who literally never sleeps and never, ever sends you an invoice. That's pretty much what this is. Okay, so how do we take all these pieces and put them together? Let's bring it all back to that main question. How do you join the 20%? Well, the answer is in this 4-part playbook. This is what really separates the people leading the charge from everyone else.
So first off, let's look at the data. What's one of the biggest, most glaring differences between those top companies and everybody else? Well,
they are 1.7 times more likely to have a responsible AI framework in place. Think about that. It's a huge clue that tells you just how deeply trust and smart strategy are connected.
All right, here's the playbook. Number 1, use AI for revenue, not just for tasks. Stop thinking about it as a to-do list checker and start asking, how does this help me make money? Number 2, build trust by being transparent. We talked about this. It's a huge competitive edge right now. Number 3, focus on learning, not just watching from the sidelines. You don't have to be an engineer, but you do have to be fluent in this stuff. And finally, number 4, own your presence in AI search. In this new world where AI just gives the answer, your personal authority and credibility, that's the new SEO.
Okay, so we've talked about the tech, we've gone over the strategy, and we've touched on the mindset shift. But all of this, it really boils down to one final crucial piece. Because at the end of the day, the technology is just a tool. The real advantage, the thing that makes all the difference, is the human element. You know, there's this quote from a founder named Emily Merrill that just nails it. She says, "You do not have to figure it out alone." And that's so true. This whole journey of building something that matters, especially with all these new tools, it's not about being some lone genius in a garage. It's about community. It's about relationships. It's about the clarity you can only get when you have the right people in your corner. And that leads to this classic quote from Alvin Toffler, which has honestly never been more relevant than it is today. The future belongs to those who learn, unlearn, and relearn. I mean, that's it right there. That ability to adapt, that's the single most important skill you can possibly have in the age of AI. So here's the bottom line. That gap between the leaders and the followers, yeah, it's getting wider. But the tools you need to cross that gap, they have never been easier to get your hands on. The playbook is right here, it's in your hands, and your strategy starts right now. So the only question left for you is, what are you going to build?